Okay, hi everybody. My name is Charlotte Muriel. I am the Associate Director of Student Wellness, and today we are going over part 2 of our salary negotiations workshop. All right, so last week we talked about what to do if you get an offer and things not to do. So today we're going to be talking about and really going in deeper about getting an offer. We're going to be talking about how to review your benefits to see what will work better for you. We're going to talk about items to negotiate, and we're going to be talking about asking for a raise at the end. All right, so first of all, what are you going to do if you receive an offer? Well, first things first, we don't want to jump into the negotiation just yet, right? We always want to make sure that we have a script of talking points available. So you need to do this, as soon as you get off the phone of that interview. So make sure that you have something prepared. So a list of talking points, the things that you want to talk about. And also develop more questions because there are more questions that you're going to want to ask. Don't say yes yet. You can ask them for some time. You can ask them for, can I have 24 hours to think about it, and then let them know. You also want to ask for the offer in writing and get the benefits package first for review. So benefits include health insurance, how much that is going to cost you, because that can be a make or break in your decision making. So for example, some companies may charge you or may make you pay a lot for their health insurance packages. And like I said, that can be a deal breaker. So you want to review that first very carefully. You want to see if there's a dental package, a vision package, retirement, all those types of things you want to know about before you give them a yes. So then you can ask for 24 hours, or you can ask the employer when they need to hear back. So that sets the stage for negotiation. So for example, you might say, how long do I have to make this decision? And they may say 24 hours, 48 hours, or whatever it may be. And then finally, you never want to negotiate through email. So why could this be troublesome? Well, your tone can come off as negative and the employer may pull the offer. Because even though you may be, you may think that, you're not being negative, emails, you all know that they have a certain tone. So you always want to do a phone or in person, all right? And always be positive. So you want to take out that emotional activation, even if they lowball your offer. All right. So don't be like, kind of have those talking points in front of you and be positive. Because remember last week we talked about that emotional activation and how that can affect things. All right. Next, we want to assess the offer. So 4 things to do. This is when you get off the phone, when you've already received the offer and you have asked them for some time to think about it. These are the 4 questions you want to ask yourself. Do you want this job? Okay, that might sound like a silly question, but do you really want this job? A lot of people tend to apply for multiple jobs just to see how the fit may be. So now you really want to decide, is this a job I want to take? Is the state that the job is in, or the country even, is that where I want to live? So think about, do you really want this job? What must change for you to accept? So if they have given you a low offer, money-wise, what is the number that they need to change it to in order for you to accept? And if they don't give you that offer, are you willing to say no? Other things, maybe you need a flexible work schedule. Things, maybe holiday pay, vacation pay. What is the minimum that you will have to accept? All right. And be willing to say no if they don't accept your offer, but understand what saying no to that position might do. Is this the only job offer you've got? Have you applied for multiple jobs and this is the only one that has come through yet? So think about those things. Think about some things that may make it better. And then think about some things that would make it awesome. So if you asked for like I said, a flexible schedule, maybe it's not 9 to 5, maybe it's 12 till 8 one day or 9 to 5 the next day. Would that make it awesome for you? So really take your time, take as long as they will give you to think about that information before responding to the offer. So next, you definitely want to review those benefit packages and see how that can affect your final decision. So healthcare coverage, costs and copays, like I said earlier, some companies may have you pay a significant monthly amount or bi-monthly amount for health insurance. So is that good for you? And see what your copays will be with these packages. There are different health insurance packages that you can choose from. So make sure you go through each of them and decide which will be best for you. Then talk about or think about your retirement. Do they offer any matching contributions, or what is the maximum contribution that they will give for retirement? You want to think about your leave, your sick pay. Do they offer maternity or paternity leave? If that's something that you're thinking about now or in the future, those things are really important as well. And then flexibility and telecommuting. So would it be better for you to work from home some days? Now, that is not something that all companies will offer, and they don't have to offer any of these things, but these are just some things that you may want to ask for if you can. All right, and they may say no, but remember, they can always say no. That is fine. And then think about, kind of have that list in front of you. Okay, so if they said no to this, then I'm still going to accept it. If they say yes to this, then that's great. So think about the things that you really want. Maybe you have a vacation planned in the future, something that's already booked. So you want to let them know at the offer. So say, for example, during the winter break, you have a 2-week vacation back to, I don't know, the UK, for example. So you want to let them know now. You don't want to wait until you start working there to let them know. Let them know ahead of time during the offer, because then they're more likely to say yes than if you've been there for 3 months and then you suddenly say, oh, I have this big vacation booked. So let them know that as soon as possible, because remember, when you have that offer, that's your leverage point. That's where you have the most leverage. Next, you want to rank your requests. So like we talked about last time, leverage will be diminished with each ask. So get them in the right order. So probably pay is the number one. And in these uncertain times, maybe that is not, although it's very important, that may not make or break your decision. So think about what is next. Is vacation or sick leave, is that really important to you? And then next, maybe flexible schedule. But remember, it will diminish with each ask. So get them in the right order. And like I said, money usually comes first. But for some, vacation, schedule flexibles, or start date are more important. And those things may be the things that are you're more likely to be able to negotiate with now instead of money, because everyone is in a tight spot. So ask those questions and then wait. And something that's really important to be aware of is I want you all to be okay with the silence. So maybe when you ask those questions, the employer or the person offering you the position may be taken aback. So don't be like, oh, I have to say something because there's silence. Just wait. Just be comfortable with that silence and wait for them to respond. All right. So again, just some more items to negotiate. So we talked about vacation, schedule flexibility, telecommuting, a start date, title. Maybe you're not happy with the title and you would want that changed. Your home office expenses. Is there an opportunity for part-time? Authority in training and education. So don't go into a job offer listing all of these things. Pick 3 that are really important to you, number 1 being the most important, and see what they say, okay? All right, so actually conducting the negotiation. So everyone should ask for more money, and this is something that you can say. So this is an example of exactly what you can say. Do you have any flexibility on the salary? Okay, and then if that doesn't work, you could say something like, based on my research, someone with my experience makes 45 to 55,000 a year, and I was expecting to come in close to the top of that range. But remember, you have to back that up. Okay, so you have to back that up with your experience. Why should you get the top of that range? You could kind of start listing off all the preferred experience requirements that were in the job description, and you can talk about how you meet all of those. And remember the items that I gave you last week, and the payscale.com, all those types of things. When you look at those, you will be able to get the salary for someone who is in your position. Another thing that you can say is, in my last position, my salary was in the vicinity of $40,000, and I was looking to significantly improve that number, and things like that. So these are things that are quite simple to say and that you can have written down for when you get that offer. Okay. Now, salary history and or expectations will work in your favor, because you haven't given them, I want to get $50,000. You are saying that you want more than that. So you've given them a figure and then asked for them to work in that. So that will help with the negotiation. All right. So if you're just starting out, so if you're a recent graduate, which most of you probably are, or you're moving to a new career, you may not have hard numbers to prove your worth. So in that case, pick your enthusiasm and your work ethic. Talk about things that you've done in school, leadership positions that you've held at Lynn, and at the very least, ask for 10% more than what you're offered. Okay, so even if you're nervous that you've never had a job before, really talk about how excited you are for this position, how excited you are to work for this company, and talk about your strong work ethic and leadership experiences and positions that you've had at Lynn. Okay, one thing that I can tell you from personal experience, even when I'm looking for students to work in my office or as wellness educators, if they come into the interview and they don't know anything about the Office of Student Wellness or about the wellness education program, that is a huge negative. So please research the company, research the job, and talk about how you can excel in that and how excited you would be to work for them. Okay. All right. Asking for a raise. I'm just going to show you a brief video. Sorry for the ads.
I decided to get my degree, both my master's and eventually working on my PhD.
There's always room for improvement. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 5 ways to successfully ask for a raise.
I want a raise. And benefits, including dental.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at 5 tips that will best ensure that you get the answer you're looking for when you're asking for a compensation increase at work.
I'm not asking for a raise, I'm going to actually be asking for a pay decrease.
Number 5, prepare a target number based on research.
$1 million.
The very first step that you have to take when you start contemplating asking your boss for a raise is to do some research. Before you make your formal request, you should check to see how your current salary compares to others in similar positions in your industry. There are many websites that can help you with this, such as PayScale, Salary.com, and Glassdoor. Once you've got some figures that prove that you're being underpaid, you'll have a better leg to stand on during your meeting. Number 4, time your request.
Right now ain't a good time to ask.
One of the most difficult things about asking for a raise is figuring out the best time to do it. While you may be tempted to ask for a compensation increase when you're being overloaded with work and feel overwhelmed with how busy things are at the office, this isn't actually the ideal time to make your request. When things are hectic in your job, your boss is probably having a similar experience. So you may want to wait until things calm down a little. An ideal time is when you know you have a performance review coming up that you expect to receive positive feedback at.
Last year, my performance review started with Michael asking me what my hopes and dreams were,
And it ended with him telling me he could bench press 190 pounds. Number 3, start positive.
We always like to avoid confrontation whenever possible.
Something that's important to keep in mind when you're planning out your strategy for asking for a higher salary is to keep it positive. It can be as simple as choosing the right wording and framing things correctly, rather than complaining about how your company has been piling extra responsibilities on you. Talk about how you've taken those changes in stride and accepted extra work. It's also good to talk about how much you actually like working for your company and how you're looking forward to the years to come, letting your employer know that you're committed to them. Number 2, don't threaten to leave.
Are you threatening me?
No.
Get the out of here. You're fired.
One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're asking for more money at work is implying that if their request isn't heeded, they will quit their jobs. This can blow up in your face if they call your bluff and tell you that unfortunately, you'll have to find work elsewhere. Even if you are fully prepared to leave, if you don't get the compensation you're looking for, it's still best not to bring it up during the conversation because it can put you in a negative light.
I hate this goddamn job and I don't need it.
You should also never bring up personal issues, like how you need the extra money for a down payment on a house. Number 1, let them know what you've done for the company.
I've been writing for this magazine for 14 years, Brad. You've been here how long? A whole month?
At the beginning of the process, when you're planning your approach, you should spend time making notes about the reasons you think that you deserve to be paid more for your current job. This could include making a list of your accomplishments since you started at the company, and even the extra tasks you've taken on that may not have been in your job description. Depending on the industry you work in, it can be extremely helpful to show that you've actually made more money for the company with the work you've done. For any employer, it all boils down to results.
I need some results. Fast.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.
Okay, so such a great video. So make sure you take some of those tips from there. I especially love the, writing down your accomplishments and things that you've done extra outside of your job responsibilities, but never use that as a negative. Because if you go in there complaining, oh, I've been doing this and I've been doing this and it's just not there and that's why I should get a raise, that's not going to work. So talk about how excited you are about taking on the extra work and what you've been able to do for the company, and that should help. All right, so finally, we're going to talk about how to, some statistics that I think are really important. So a study found that only 29% of job seekers negotiated their salary at their current or most recent job. So that's not many, and 48% still don't feel comfortable doing it at all. And I get it, it's not the most comfortable thing to do, but hopefully having a list of talking points and some evidence to back it up, that should help. So almost half, so 48% of job seekers received an initial salary offer on par with what they expected from their current or most recent job. Men were significantly more comfortable in negotiating salary than women, so 56% compared to 38%. And workers who make more are more likely to negotiate. Okay, so if you make less than $25,000 a year, only 21% of people will go into negotiate, and if people make $200,000 to $300,000, they are 49% more likely to negotiate. So just try. Okay. All right, so that does it for our salary negotiations part 2. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Charlotte Muriel. I'm the Associate Director of Student Wellness at Lynn. My phone number is 561-237-7955, or you can contact me by emailing cmuriel, so that's CMURIEL @lynn.edu. Okay, thank you.